believe people are tuned in from different parts of the world. So I want to say very good evening to everybody. If you can hear me, I would like somebody to just give me a thumbs up or a reaction to let me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'm really excited to be hosting this event this evening. This is the science of um, outstanding results. SOAR, yeah, hosted by the Institute of Family Engineering and Development. Right, the institute has been in operation since the year 2016 and has produced over 200 family life practitioners who are practicing using the tools they have gotten from the institute all over the world. So we have people right now in Canada, people in the United States of America, people in the UK, people in other parts of Africa who are using these tools. And truly, principles are universal. Principles are universal, right? And it doesn't matter where you are or wherever you find yourself, may even be in space, right? These tools are very relevant as long as you are dealing with human beings. These tools are very relevant, and we have a lot of people who can testify to what I'm saying. I'm one of them, actually. I'm a family practitioner. I think I did mine in November of 2016. So I've been using this for 6 years now, and I can tell you that it works like magic. Right. So we want to really show everyone in the few hours that will be spent together how we can, be a part of this revolution going on, right? And tap into it so that we, in case you are in that space, family life space right now, we can stop using native intelligence and stop advising people. Really, there are a lot of advisors, a lot of people who can advise. Oh, stop doing this, stop doing that, don't do this, don't do that, start doing this. Really, we have a lot of people who are advisors, but very few people who can actually trigger and cause change in the lives and families of people, right? And that's why, and that's where the Institute of Family Engineering and Development comes in to equip you really with tools and expertise to help people practically, right, with a science that has been tested and trusted. Okay, so once again, you are welcome. You're welcome. I can see a lot of people in here already. We have about 33 people who have joined in from all over, and we're expecting more people to join in as well. Once again, my name is Miracle Inhoma, and I would
Okay. Sorry, looks like Miracle's. Looks like Miracle's internet is a bit erratic.
This event. All right. In about. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you now, Miracle. You were frozen before.
Oh, so sorry. Yeah, so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. Yes, so I was saying that in about a minute or so, I'll be handing the mic over to Mr. Priestful, who were popularly known as PF, right? He's a founder of the institute, and he would be sharing a few things with us in a few minutes. So I really want to welcome everyone. Get set, tighten your seatbelt. You are in for a ride this evening. And in case there is somebody who you know right now, who you feel needs to be a part of this, somebody in your circle, somebody in your church, somebody in your family, somebody, your neighbor, whoever it is, you feel needs to be here, you want to go ahead and send them the link so that they can join in right away. Because this is one meeting where you would tell yourself, oh, I wish I invited this person and I wish I invited that person. So for you not to regret it, you still have a few minutes to do that. So go ahead and invite one person at least to join the meeting. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the next voice you would be hearing would be that of Mr. Praise Fowowe.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miracle. I'm super excited to be with you guys today, and I'm so happy. Miracle, thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, everyone who has joined this webinar. We're going to dive in deep into what we have to share today. It's not going to take your time at all. I'm just going to breeze through it, because if there is anything that is changing our lives, then we need to inform you so that you can be part of the move. One of the things that we knew was going to happen when we started Institute of Family Engineering and Development Africa was the fact that we knew that this was going to go global. And we knew that the methodology and the research we had done is something that is going to be celebrated across the world. And I am excited at what is happening and then what the Institute is recording right now. I mean, if you have been in the news, following the news, you will know that the Lagos state government has now made it mandatory for people who want to get married to go through a mandatory premarital counseling session. And, you know, I was called in to work on the curriculum for that premarital counseling session for the registrars. So every registry is going to be taking that counseling. It was actually a project that was meant for Nigeria, but federal government was dilly-dallying and Lagos State picked it up. And so good news is it's now live in Lagos. We've gone through the training of the registrars, and all the models they're going to be using basically are family system engineering methodology. So if there is a good time to plug in and join the cruise and join the movement that is changing the face of the world, now is the time to do that. So if you're in this meeting, you know, you want to dive in and come to class, one of the things I can tell you, and this is not to psych you, this is what has been proven over and over and over again, that the most competent family life professionals in our world today, especially in Nigeria and across Africa, are people who use this methodology, the family system engineering model. But I will come to that later. So let me just take you through a brief about the science, the application of the science, you know, of producing accelerated result. Now, I'm going to be sharing the application, and I'll share with you 7 marital truths that nobody will tell you that you need to pay attention to as a matter of urgency. Okay, so are you ready to soar? If you're ready to soar, can you get into my chat box and type, I am ready? Okay, if you're ready to soar, please go on to the chat box. I want you guys to be engaging today. I want to feel the energy in the building. Can you type, I am ready? I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Let me see you guys. Let me see you. Let me see you. Fantastic. Okay, 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 okay. I can see that we're all ready to roll. Now, I'm going to start about Africa. What do you know about Africa? Right? I mean, people say all kinds of things about the continent of Africa. As a matter of fact, because I live and work in Irving, Texas, when people mention Africa, they think Africa is a country. And when you probe further, they think that all we do is advanced fraud and Yahoo, Yahoo, and whatever. And those are the things they talk about us. But that's not who we are, because Africa is the cradle of civilization. There is no generation, no race that is as competent like the African race. The only problem is that we do not tell our stories, or that we do not hype ourselves the way we should, right? And so consistently, Africa has now become a place where people think of underdevelopment. And when they say Africa is underdeveloped, they're talking about you and I. So naturally, they expect us to be irrational in our behavior. They don't expect us to be methodical. They think that whatever is not Africa is inferior. As a matter of fact, They don't believe in our native intelligence. They don't believe anything good. So even if we find a cure to a global problem, they do not believe that it can work. Unfortunately, we also don't believe that it can work. So consistently, if we find a cure to cancer, they're likely going to kill it because they don't believe anything good can come out of us. But if you check historically, we built the first smart city in the world, which was Benin Kingdom, from the year 1400 to 1700 before the walls were demolished, right? So there is a lot of good about us. Which Africa do we talk about, do we know? I mean, I'm right now, broadcasting this session from my friend's house in Banana Island, and I'm almost saying to him that you guys don't live in Nigeria. So which Africa do they talk about? Every time they show Africa abroad, they show people who are impoverished, and so they justify the need to collect money and come and solve our problem. And you know that Africa does not need problem. Africa needs leadership, because if you check even the churches, you look at TBN, they show that they are bringing water to Africa. They show impoverished villages. They don't show VGC. They don't show Banana Island. They don't show those expensive places, right? When they talk about African leadership, do they talk about Nelson Mandela, or do they talk about Abacha, the man that looted and the gift that keeps giving? When they talk about us, they showcase kidnapping. They showcase poor people. They don't talk about the smart schools that we have. Neither do they talk about Emanuela, a little girl who has built, our YouTube and created content that is, has a lot of following, and she's making a whole lot of money, right? They don't talk about the fact that we love to party, especially the wedding reception where we eat our jollof rice. Okay, so if I ask you which one is sweeter between Niger jollof and Ghanaian jollof, what will be your response? Let me see your response in the chat box. They don't talk about that simply because we don't own what we own. So our mala, for example, someday is going to be trademarked by a foreign company, and they will tell another story that they own it. Simply because if you go to Walmart in the US, you will see our local sponge, coin corn. They've branded it in another name, and it sells for like 20, 25 US dollars, right? You would see our mortar, our Odo mortar, and they've called it another name. You see our Ayolopon, our game, and they've called it another name, okay? So people like Niger Jollof here. You would see all kinds of things being rebranded simply because we don't own it. We spend so much money on weddings, even if we don't know how to run the marriage. So consistently, every Saturday, you see people, groomsmen, bridesmaid, all kinds of people, throwing parties, forming a convoy. And when you check, there has not been a dime spent on preparing for the marriage when so much has been spent preparing for wedding. We are religious, and we are not apologetic about it. We love to pray, even though we may not understand the power behind the prayers, but we just love to pray. Even though we don't like to take the action, but we love to pray. And unashamedly so. So today is Sunday. We have all gone to churches. Friday, people go to mosque. Every of our meetings, we're starting with prayers, or we're starting with the Islamic prayers. And we are not ashamed to say that we love God, right? Even though that God may not reflect on our roads, it may not reflect on how we treat ourselves, but that is who we are. We just love to play. But we endure marriages because of what people would say. So even though you know that their marriage is not working, we'll endure because you are not sure what people would say. You're not sure if you're not going to lose your position. So consistently over time, a lot of people have died in the marriages, right? And so because people will say if they leave, people will castigate them and they say they failed. And if they die, the same people will also castigate them and say, oh, why didn't they run away? Consistently, we have studied and researched, and at the Institute of Family Engineering and Development, we now have a psychometric, which Lagos State is going to start using, that can actually pick an abusive husband at the level of dating before you get into marriage, or an abusive woman, so that when you run a culture compatibility test, which I'll talk about later, you can literally tell that these people are going to kill themselves. I mean, when I was training the registrars, they were so excited when we simulated and they saw the reasons why people kill themselves in a relationship. It's so easy, but check the data. Between January and to September, I mean, in the year 2020, right? Lagos, in the year 2018, sorry, Lagos recorded 30,000 broken and failed marriages, while the rate of domestic violence has soared across Nigeria. Imagine, within a space of 9 months, 30,000 failed marriages was recorded in Badagry alone. The question is, how did they step into the marriage? In the last 1 year, I have consistently seen marriages that doesn't go beyond 2 months. By the second month, one person had discovered that I'm in a wrong marriage. So people are breathing in and they are breathing out. And there is crisis. Some of them have children. There is crisis. 7 out of 10 men surveyed believe that a man is superior to a woman and that one of the core duty of women is cooking, while 9 out of 10 women disagree. Now, this data already shows why there is domestic violence, because once your beliefs are not compatible, you are going to get into violence or you're going to get into crisis if care is not taken. Now, data also shows for 2020 that 7 of the worst, out of the worst 10 countries to raise family is in Africa. And one of the reasons given is the rate of domestic violence powered by gender inequality. You know that a lot of African countries don't believe in gender inequality. I mean, they don't believe in gender equity. They believe in gender inequality, that the man is superior to the woman. This is as of 2016. Even now is worse. Pressure at work is damaging family life and relationships, according to an authoritative new study of 5,000 workers. Now in Lagos, we know that more children are now hooked on drugs and sex, confess to a lack of effective parenting and family life systems at home. Now, this is a crisis waiting to happen, a time bomb that is tickling. If you look at leadership in Africa, there is no leader troubling our continent that did not emerge from the family. And that's why the revolution we are clamoring for is not going to happen by making noise. It's going to happen when we begin to get the family systems right, because the family systems is what produce the society. The most important nation on earth is the family. The family is the production factor of the society. That if we rein in and build effective family system that can produce independent-minded global icons, then we can create a new society that is filled with lovers who can actually collaborate to do good. And that's why if we don't begin to produce at a faster rate, I mean, if you look at the medical world, the rate of doctors leaving Nigeria to Japan right now is crazy. Now, the ratio of family life professionals to families, it's like 1 family life professional to over 100,000 families right now. You know why? No school in Nigeria offers a course in family science. None. No university, no college offers any course on family science. The certification that now exists was the research we did and which has come in now to bridge the gap. And that's why a lot of our people have gone to America. I mean, I've taken certification in America. You would realize that while the principles are universal, many of the things they're teaching does not incorporate the reality of the Black race or the African race, because the conclusion is built on a premise that doesn't represent us. For example, their research does not capture the fact that there are still families where who cooks is a major issue. Now, they don't have that problem. We still have the problem. Now, their research does not capture the fact that someone goes on the road to go and what's it called, chips, and will run after vehicles, you know, to feed his family. It does not cover the fact that there are women who will back their baby and they have to walk ice water or pure water. So if the research does not cover the psychological trauma of some of those behaviors, how does the conclusion now become something we can embrace? And that's why for the first time, even in the US and in the UK and in Canada, every time we put forward the family system engineering model, the Blacks embrace it because they say this now represents who we truly are. We are more superstitious than scientific, and we depend more on our culture and religious leaders to prepare couples for marriages. Of course, if your religious leader is preparing you for marriage, your religious leader has an agenda. His agenda is people must not leave my church. So if the goal is to retain people, even when they see somebody who is likely going to beat somebody up, what they will recommend is pray or deliverance, right? They are not likely going to say, you guys should not go ahead, because if you guys don't go ahead, that's one less member, right? So you have this crisis consistently wherein people who are subjective are preparing people for marriage. And this is no disrespect to religious leaders. They have done very well. Without what they have done, it could have been worse. So kudos to them. Kudos to our cultural leaders, our traditional rulers. However, there can be more, because science is about data. The data does not lie. The data would show that a man believes that he's superior to a woman. He should go and marry a woman who believes what he believes, and not marry someone whose beliefs is contradictory to what he believes, such that they begin to beat themselves. They also respond when there is crisis, which has produced a situation where people have died in a bad marriage because we frown at divorce. So if our premise is, I, the Lord, hate divorce, even though what that place says that I, the Lord, does not take divorce as a first option, right? And we say God hates divorce, so we allow people stay in an abusive relationship till they die. Professionals are frowned at because of general apathy to vulnerability. I remember when I started out, they started saying that we were introducing psychology into church, even though I responded to them that if somebody passed out in your church, you are likely going to call for an ambulance. So that is also bringing medical science into church. God is not anti-science. God is the maker of science. And so if Africa does not begin to incorporate science, we will keep raising larger than life leaders. We will keep bleeding. We'll keep producing marriages where people are going to kill themselves. And that's one of the essence of why we are here. Now, when I was growing up, one of the questions on my mind has always been, why does a husband have so much power and a wife has no voice? I observed my dad and my mom. My dad had so much power. My mom, even though very effective, she had limited power. Now, my dad is a fantastic man, very, very hardworking. But I kept asking, and I looked around me, it wasn't just him. Every other man seems to have so much power. The ladies were passive. It's almost as if they couldn't be seen, right? Why do some marriages work and others fail? These were the questions that launched us into the research that took us like 11 years. Checking out marriages that have worked, 25 marriages that have done 40 years and above. We wanted to find out why they worked and why others failed. And surprisingly, they themselves didn't know. So we decided to study them over a period of time. And by asking questions, we were able to build a model that is now celebrated across and now known as family system engineering certification. That before people step into marriage or when they have troubled marriages, all you need to do is to run a data-driven psychometric. And by that psychometric, you can know 94% of what is wrong with their marriage without them even talking to you. Now, in our research, we found out that the root of marital crisis are beliefs. What people have believed over time. And let me say this to you, that your beliefs are often not your beliefs. Your beliefs are what was imposed on you because your parents did not consult you before they gave you a name. How did they arrive at the name they gave you? Based on their beliefs. So they imposed a belief on you by branding you without your permission. How did they choose the first school you went to? They did not consult you, right? So they imposed a worldview of a school, of teachers, of fellow students on you without your permission. And that's your foundation and all of us listening to me. Now, your upbringing also plays a role. How were you raised? What environment? What culture did you grow up from? If you have been born in China, okay, so let's play a game. If you were born in China, what would your name have been? Can you put it in the chat box? Let's laugh, right? What would your Chinese name have been? And if you were born in China, would you have believed what you believed right now? The answer is no. Your name would have been different. Your worldview would have been different. Your exposure would have been different. You would not even believe half of what you believe right now. Most likely, you will not even be in this class. Okay, Sister Jedediah said Jedi Chan. Okay, Chinok, Chinko, see funny name, Chan. We will not even believe many of the things. Some of you are Muslims, will not be Muslims. Some of us who are Christians will not be Christians, but we will still be existing. Maybe we would have been scientists or something, or maybe we would have even been hackers or whatever. Religion plays a role. Our religious belief, our interpretation of religion. That's why I believe that there's nothing bad with religion. Religion takes the shape of the culture it meets on ground. That's why you see excellent Islam in UAE, and you see the Islam in the northern part of Nigeria. It's mediocrity. You see the Christianity in Nigeria versus the Christianity in maybe Japan or some other parts of the world. Totally different, right? It's not, they are not commanding devil to die and fall and die. You can take coffee while you're praying in some churches in the US, but here, if you do that, you are classified as an unserious believer. So we still fight over wear trouser, don't wear trouser. Others have moved on. So religion plays a major role, or interpretation of religion plays a major role in our worldview. Then our role models. Who are the role models before us? We want to take after many of our role models. But what we say is, if the omelette is only as good as the egg, the marriage is only as good as the singles involved. Which is why, if we want to begin to build a better society, we now need to intentionally pay attention to the quality of the singles who are stepping into marriage. So what I'm going to do in here is I would talk a little bit about singleness. Then I will tell you 7 marital truths that nobody may have told you. Then I would show you, how you can join the Family System Engineering Certification course, which starts in October, and become certified, because we need to raise more people who can assist and who can produce incredible results everywhere they go. I practice in the US. Every time I go to Canada, I continue my practice. If I go to the UK, I continue my practice. There is no restriction, no barrier to my certification in any nation of the world. Now, I love this quote by Thomas Merton. He says, if we seek paradise outside ourselves, we cannot have paradise in our heart. That many of us have been scripted to always look for bliss outside of ourselves. So you can't be happy unless you do certain things, unless you go somewhere, unless you talk to someone, unless you listen to a music. Many of us are not used to being a human being that is getting comfortable and loving up ourselves. We have not learned to love ourselves, but we are learning to love ourselves through others. So if we seek paradise outside of ourselves, we cannot have paradise in our heart. So here are a couple of fundamental truths. That the ultimate stage in life is singleness. That you were born single, you are going to die single. That is given. Even if you want to die with your spouse, you are still going to die singly, right? And you're going to go on your journey separately afterwards, a year after. The crisis in marriage is often the dirt of singleness. That people get into marriage and they are expected to sacrifice their life and no longer have a life. It's because they are married to someone. So people no longer have support system. So you marry someone and he says to you, I don't want to see with your friends anymore. I don't want you to talk to them anymore. Meanwhile, those were the friends you grew up with. Those were the ones who supported you till they found you desirable. But once somebody begins to say, drop your support system, that person is seeking to isolate you. That person is communicating that I am not single, so I must acquire you to myself, which leads to choking in a lot of relationships. So without singleness, wherein people are not comfortable in their own skin, they are going to damage other people. Sometimes it will manifest as love, but oftentimes you realize that it's actually abuse. When singleness is not discovered or deciphered, aloneness will be traded for loneliness. So people want to get married because they are lonely. Lonely people shouldn't get married. It's only alone people, or aloneness means all one, who should get married. And all one means you are self-sufficient by yourself. You are independent without a need for someone else. The moment you attain that level is when you need to be interdependent. It's not, marriage cannot be consummated by vulnerable people who says they are not even complete. They can't stand by themselves. They have no relationship, no friendship. They can't take care of themselves. They can feed themselves, but they are coming into marriage. Those people are candidates for abuse. Now, I believe that God's plan is for you to find you and maximize you. And until you find you define your essence by the current reality and underprice yourself. That if you don't know who you are, in the name of marriage, people will marry someone who at best should be a mentee. They will marry someone who should be a servant, and they will expect the servant to now lead them. And because he doesn't have the capacity to lead, crisis begins to erupt in their relationship. Now, every misbehavior is either a non-discovery of self or a non-remembrance of self. So if you say that man is badly behaved, that lady is badly behaved, there are two things in there. It's either they've not discovered themselves or they've forgotten who they truly are. Now, when couples haven't passed the test of singleness, they will exert pressure on each other and may ultimately damage each other. I spoke about that earlier. So you want to go clubbing or you want to go to a party and the person says we must always go together. No problem. Then you get there together. It says you must only talk to me. You must not talk to any other person. Now, that is someone who has a problem with a personality and they're trying to impose themselves on you and stop your own life. Now, if your life stops, then you are going to die a natural death because they're going to totally mess you up. So when people are not absolutely single and they find themselves in marriage, everybody that you are talking to becomes a candidate for cheating. Everybody they look at, they can't trust, they can't relate with you talking to opposite sex. It becomes a problem and they are going to damage you. Your singleness is a blessing. Maximizing it is your gratitude to God. So what is singleness? Singleness is the state of discovering the very core essence of your life. What it means is discovering your uniqueness, accepting it without apologies, including embracing your shame. You know, we love to hide our shame, especially as Africans. One thing I've learned living in America is that they shamelessly own their shame and say, oh, I was wrong, I did this, but I own it. I'm not going to lie about it. Many of us cannot stand the shame of other people. We can't even stand our own shame. So we are all trying to be good. Truth is, no matter how much we try to be good, we cannot be absolutely good. Even Jesus was asked, good master. Then he says, no, don't call me good master because there is no good one among all of us. Now, so you need to understand that you have to accept yourself without apologies. Not everyone is going to like you. I mean, I've had all kinds of things being said about me. Praise is cocky. It's fine. But they can't know me more than me. I admit that I'm not perfect. And that's why I do not judge other people. So I embrace my shame. I embrace myself. And singleness is keeping your focus on till a state of wholeness is attending you in service to God and humanity. I'm not trying to impress God. I tell God my inadequacy. I tell him my weakness, and I'm not trying to judge other people by their own inadequacy. We cannot all be the same. So I have come to understand that, and that has helped me to live my life without apologies. Right. So one of the things you need to learn in this class today is how to live your life without apologies. Okay, if you are still here, can you type hi? Hi, hi, if you are here. Let me see if you guys are listening. Can you type I? Because if you don't accept and celebrate yourself, people are going to totally mess you up. So I want you to wrap your arms around yourself. And for a moment, I want you to just celebrate yourself, including your weakness, your strength. I mean, no judgment zone. Just put your hands around your back and pull it around you, wrap your hands around yourself and just celebrate yourself and say to yourself, I am good enough. I am worthy for the best of life. I do not judge myself. I appreciate my uniqueness. I own myself and I love me. I want you to do that for yourself, wrapping your arms around yourself. Guys, you are powerful. At whatever level you are, there is someone who appreciates you. Even if they say you are mad, there is a method to that madness, and there is someone who actually appreciates your madness. Now, let me say this, that what may actually make you ultimately happy may be too hard for those you love to accept. So to understand, hence, you may reject it and live by their rules, thereby trading your happiness for conformity. So many of you, there are things you love to do, but maybe because it violates what your religion says is right or wrong, or it violates what your mentor says is right or wrong, you now sacrifice what you love to do so that you can please a people who are living their own life. And they don't even care what you think about how they are living their own lives. So they will tell you, don't wear ankle chain. Meanwhile, you desire to wear ankle chain. So because of what they're going to say, you don't wear that ankle chain. So every time you see it on someone else, it makes you feel good. And you wish, oh, I wish I can wear this. Now you are 40, you are 50, and you are still worried about what people are going to say about you. There is problem. And it's because we have been scripted to bother about what people would say to us. That is why many of us cannot praise ourselves. We are experts at praising God. We are experts at praising others. But when you want to praise yourself, you suddenly feel that you are proud for praising yourself. If you don't celebrate yourself, who will celebrate you? So you realize that many people are not happy. Every recipe they have given you to be happy has not worked for you. Truth is, nobody can make you happy but you. So if they tell you 10 steps to happiness, if those 10 steps are not from within you, you are still not going to be happy. So singleness is being unique and different. The question is your life designed to make you happy? Or you are living another person's life? And I want you to be very honest with yourself. Is your life designed to make you happy? Right? It's a yes and no answer. I mean, you don't have to answer it in the chat box, but if you want to answer, be bold enough to say, no, my life is not designed to make me happy. Or yes, my life is now designed to make me happy. Right? And because many of you are living another person's life. Right? So when you look at the word life and style, it means it's a combination of two words, life and style. Life means the whole essence of your being while you are here. And when you find why you are here, you design the style that can take you there. That style I may not like it. I don't even have to like it. As long as it can get you going and get you to where you need to get to, you are fine. Right? But many of us, you design your style and you present it to people who don't know your life. And they now say, no, this style is not good for you. They don't know your life and you have not told them your life. You don't even know your life, but they are judging your style when you are not going in the same direction. And that's why you realize that you have conformed to the style they've given you, but you are still not happy. Let me announce to you that nothing is ever going to make you happy until you are able to create the style that can deliver your life. So let's do an activity that is a very simple activity. Right. So I want you to draw this 4 squares in your sheet of paper. Right. And so you're going to go through stadium, your vault, your explosives, and your freedom. Now, in the first quadrant, it's called stadium. I want you to write out, what do you know about yourself that other people also know that can hinder you from living the best life you can live? Forget about attracting the right spouse, right? Just replace it with living the best life you can live, right? What is it that you know about yourself that other people also know that can hinder you from living your best life? What is that thing that you know about yourself? Other people have been telling you, this thing is going to hinder you from living your best life. What is that thing? Can you write it down there? You know it, even though you are living in denial, you know it. Other people know it, they tell you. Closest people tell you. Now, whatever you have written, you need to confront and deal with it. You need to confront and deal with it, right? What is that thing that strikes fear into you, that makes you, stops you from living the best life you can live? Is it meetings? You know, somebody was telling me the other day, said, Praise, how come you have so much time for almost everybody? And I told them what I've had to eliminate. I've had to eliminate activities that will not take me to where I want to go. And some of those activities are painful to my leaders. You know, I've taken myself out of the department, out of meetings that does not directly have to where I want to go. And that frees me. I saw the amount of time that frees me from. And I'm so happy with myself because now I can give enough time. So it looks like Praise has a lot of time. No, I've only eliminated what would have been sharing my time. And so I have a lot of time to play. Now, number 2, your vault. What do you know about yourself that gets you excited, but no one else knows about you? What do you know about yourself that gets you so excited, but it's a secret between you and you? No other person knows it. Maybe you are a billionaire and they don't know. They think you are a thousandaire, right? So write it there, right? Maybe you are sorted for life, but they don't know that you are very, very wealthy. Just write it there, right? That will make you smile. What you need to preserve that and you need to continue. Maybe you are a professor and they don't know, or you have authored like 14 books, they are not released and nobody knows. So write those things down. You need to preserve and continue to do those things because those are your jokers. Then you go to your explosives. What do you know about yourself that no one else knows about you that you wish nobody gets to know? Those are your secret compromise. The little things you're doing that you know, if this thing gets to the public, it might mess you up. right? What are those things? Can you write them down? They're called your explosives or your map. You need to terminate it and get help. What are those things? Maybe you have some addictions to drugs, you are addicted to cocaine, or you are addicted to sex. What are those things that you are not proud of these things? You are struggling. What are those things? Write them out. Nobody's checking your note. It's you and you. Now you need to terminate it and get help. Because when this activity is not done before marriage, a lot of people take baggages into marriage and it messes them up. Now, who would you rather want to be? That's freedom. That's the final level. Who would you rather want to become that will make you so proud of yourself? Can you write the most significant version of you, your most significant other, the greatest version of you, that if you can become this you will say, adios, I have achieved everything and that will make you very happy. Feel free to write it down. When you're done, I want you to take a look at that you in your mind. Close your eyes and look at that you in your mind and enjoy it for like 2 minutes, right? What is that you, the ultimate you? Oh, wow. Maybe the ultimate you is the you that is on a yacht, traveling, going on a cruise, the most expensive yacht, drinking the most expensive wine with the most expensive people, traveling from coast to coast, from country to country, going on a holiday, spending, excessively, owning an island, owning sky rises in the US, building a conglomerate where you can afford anything you want. What is that version of that greatest you? I want you to write it down and take a look at it. Visualize it, enjoy it, look at it over and over and over again. Feel it. Go on that journey now. Don't wait, because your mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is simulated. This is what must define you. Your pain must not define you. Your compromise must not define you. What people are saying about you must not define you. The most significant other, the greatest you, which is the you that God sees, is what must begin to define you. Can you visualize and enjoy it for like a minute before I go ahead? Okay, so I'm going to the counting for you. Okay, 60, 59, 58. Okay, I'm doing a countdown. Just enjoy it. Enjoy that greatest version of you, the you that you rather want to be. How do you want to wake up? Hell in the morning. What house? Is it a smart house that is ocean view? What exactly do you want? I want to visualize it and see it as if it had happened to you, because you have the capacity to create a new reality. Okay, now you may open your eyes. Now, I'll tell you 3 reasons people lose themselves, and I'll tell you 7 marital secrets that nobody's going to share with you. Now, these 7 marital secrets are some of the things you're going to learn in class if you come for Family System Engineering Certification Program, and you will learn how to coach people to master those things. Now, there are the 3 reasons I found that people lose themselves. Number 1, wrong handling. Wrong handling. So I've seen firstborn syndrome of violence upbringing, including forced behavioral code of conditioning. Many of us were forced into the life we live right now by our father, by our mother. They did the best they could with what they knew. They were not wicked people, but they just didn't know better, because they also didn't study you to know how to handle you. They just imposed their religious view, imposed their worldview, cultural views on you, and you were sealed. That is why there are things you will not dare, because fear has already been installed in you not to dare certain things, because you live in the frequency of right and wrong. What if I do this? It will take me to a fire. What the fear of hell is not making many people live the life they truly want to live. So wrong handling. They can't eat what they want to eat, because when they want to eat, they think our souls are perishing. They can't wear what they want to wear because they think souls are perishing. They're just perpetually paranoid at the fact that they want to lose heaven, that they no longer live on this planet. So wrong handling. Many people who are firstborn, sadly, in Africa, manifest what we call pseudo-personality, because their parents imposed a new personality on them that is not their original personality. I don't know where we got the notion from that the firstborn child must lead others by example. Firstborn child must lead in academics, must live in prosperity. It doesn't. Firstborn simply means you came out before the others. It doesn't. Your faith is not tied to their faith. You only came to this planet through your parent. right? So wrong handling, this is one of the reasons a lot of people have issues. Number two, subjective culture and environment. How do we see boys? How do we see girls? So girls can stay in the kitchen, boys can go and play, boys are superior to girls. You have girl child children, you are still looking for boy child. It's a major issue. So subjective culture and environment. And number three, significant emotional experience, void of healing and closure. So when a people have gone through this three and they've not found healing and closure, they are candidates for marital disaster, because the baggages they are bringing into marriage is ultimately going to sabotage their marriages. So at this juncture, I must say that too many people have been totally messed up by wrong beliefs, which have deprived them of the ability to get their desired spouse. So consistently, I see a lot of singles, they won't get married, but they have so many laws playing in their mind. Wrong teaching from the pulpit, wrong teaching by their parents. When I was growing up, my dad would tell you, you must not marry from Eba, you must not marry from Ijebu. Meanwhile, we were living in Ogun State way back, right? And you begin to wonder, where is this coming from, right? And my father was a priest, so you are wondering, why can't I marry an Ijebu person? Why can't I marry an Eba person? Why can't I marry a human being? Meanwhile, but if I warehouse those laws in my head, even if I see a Jesus Christ, like a lady from Ijebu, I will never touch her because there are laws in my head. So you realize that consistently, many people have been messed up by wrong beliefs. And that's why one of the core fundamentals, foundational reasons why people become violent in their relationship is beliefs incompatibility. As a matter of fact, at the root of many marital crises are damaging or sabotaging beliefs that they have not figured out. So what are the seven marital truths that no one is likely going to tell you? Number one, opposite beings don't attract. Only kinds easily born. Now, in family system engineering certification program, it took us first 2 years to discover that this truth being taught around is at the root reason why a lot of people beat themselves up and a lot of people are unhappy in their marriages. Opposite attract is built on the better half premise that it is better to marry a spouse who is exactly your opposite, so that he or she can complement you in areas every human being can actually has the capacity to grow and develop at. So it is built on, if I am quiet, let me marry someone who is a talkative, right? And so that's the problem in there. So somebody who is a talkative, marry someone who is quiet. The quiet person doesn't like talkatives. So to her, you talk too much. To you, she's too quiet. And that is the concept of opposite attract. Oh, somebody likes to have sex all the time. Marry someone who doesn't like to have sex. So the person who doesn't like to have sex is struggling. The one who doesn't want sex is happy. Or somebody loves to go out and party. The other person loves to stay at home. So he says, let's go and party. Say, I don't like to go out. I want to stay at home. That is opposite attract for you. Opposite things attract. Opposite beings will repel. Now there is a psychometric in class that we're going to teach you how to run that will show you how these things work. So if you check, for example, why do we hide under personality type weaknesses when every human being has the capacity to develop strength in all these areas? So you have almost getting married to trucks, and that's usually what you find in many marriages. Alma is project driven, truck is people driven. Alma has low attention span, truck has high attention span. Alma is bullish, truck is warm. Alma has spirits of anger, truck has patience and understanding. Alma has quick decision, truck has slow decision. Alma is extroverted, truck is introverted. Alma is a blunt communicator, truck is a diplomatic communicator. Now, if we look at this, it already shows you where the problem is going to come from. So instead of us to say, Alma, can you work on your weakness, or can we coach you to develop strength on your weakness? We are telling you, marry your opposite. So if he marries his opposite, he's project-driven, this person is people-driven. He's likely going to forget her birthday. If he forgets her birthday, she's going to be sulking because, again, she's very warm, he's bullish, and he's going to bully her. So this person perpetually, I esteem, may be totally damaged simply because she married this guy. If you check this one, opposite attract, convertible and forward, this guy is scattered, this one is highly organized. So somebody who wants high organization, marry someone who is always scattering the house. One day she's going to get tired. Someone that is reserved, marry the expressive person. So we begin to, so a lot of people, when you sit with them in counseling, you realize that they are not totally happy. So it's a combination of work versus grace. But you see, if you look at it this way, What I say to people is this: if every awesome individual needs robust development of all, why wait for someone else to come and fill in the gap? Can we tell people in the areas they are weak to work on their weaknesses so that they are robust instead of waiting for the opposite to come and cover them up? Because that concept has led to a lot of marriages where people are not happy. Somebody is always bullying the other person. The other person cannot express, her pain because she's warehousing it. So someday you just hear that quiet woman killed her husband, and people are wondering what happened. It's because if the right psychometry had been done before marriage, they would have picked this up. So this is what happens. I want to talk. Opposites attract. You talk too much. But if you marry your kind, which test can reveal, it brings it on, let us gist. I want to have sex. Opposite attract says, I am not in the mood. Kind says, anytime, anywhere, and anyhow. I want us to take this risk. Opposite attract says, it is better we maintain status quo. Don't let us do it. Kind bind says, what is the worst that can happen? Let's do it. I want us to become more creative. Opposite attract says, you want to turn me into something else and someone else. Maybe you want to take my faith away from me. Kind says, I love to explore and don't mind trying new stuff. What is best for the children? Opposite attract says, my way is the better way. Kind says, let's find out the best way and embrace it together. I want to go to party with friends or stay alone. Opposite attract says, I don't like crowd. Kind says, I just want to be where you are. Right? So we say, find your kind and melt into your kind. So there is already a psychometry in family system engineering that helps you figure this out before people actually get into marriage. And we believe the more people know how to run those psychometry, the more we can save people who are going to be disaster waiting to happen. Now, a lot of religious counseling does not pick this, but I'm sure you know someone who is struggling right now simply because they married opposites. If you know anyone like that, can you type I? If you know anyone struggling that you can figure out right now because they married opposites attract, and you know they are struggling, but they're not saying it out because of what people say, can you type I? Okay, good. So you can see people know people that, because this is still being taught in a lot of marriages, it's being taught across board. People are teaching it, but those people even need to go back to class and go and sit down and know that this is old syllabus. It no longer works. I respect the work of Tim LaHaye, but opposite spirit control temperament. But opposite beings do not attract. Opposite things is what attracts. And that means what we need to do is opposite attract, but opposite must grow into kindred in case you now have opposites who have now married themselves. For them to be able to maximally enjoy each other, kind naturally, however, connect. So I'm a stickler for let people who are like themselves marry themselves. You love to make money. Marry someone who loves to make money. Don't marry someone who feels guilty by making money, because you will realize that someday you will not be able to communicate. Number two, patterns are predictors of the future, and background check is key. Interestingly, we discovered this in family system engineering, that what our parents were doing that we call diabolic, maybe the way they were going about it, they go and check families. What they are checking are patterns. So they can say, this family, there is something in their lineage. There is some disease in their lineage, right? So what we say is, if you know people's pattern, you can predict what their future looks like. Now, there is a psychometry called Oyela in Family System Engineering Certification Program. That psychometry can show you people's patterns. And with their patterns, you can predict that this person, based on this pattern, is likely going to be reckless. Based on this person's pattern, is going, because your patterns are the habits you have repeated over and over again. For example, there are some of you here, meat is what you eat last. If you are here, you eat your meat last, can you type I? Meat is what you eat last. Can you type I when you eat your food? Meat is what you eat last. You know why you eat meat last? Your parents built a pattern into you when you were a child. They told you, if you don't finish your food, you must not eat your meat. That was what they told you. They didn't tell you that it was to motivate you to finish your food. Now, you have now grown up as an adult. You are still eating your meat last, rewarding yourself with meat, even though you are the one. There is no, if you eat meat first or you eat meat last, there is no law that says it will affect digestion. But that is what you are still doing, right? So patterns are predictors of the future. And you see, that mentality is actually a poverty mentality, because, I mean, if you can eat meat, let us eat meat. Now, background checks serve two purposes. It validates the information provided by the candidate through the interview process and helps safeguard employees and the company from people who may be potentially dangerous to others. So I have dealt with lots of cases lately where the lady says, let us go and meet a family system engineering professional so that we can run assessment. The guy will say, no, marriage is between man, God, and the couple. Eventually they get into marriage, and in 1 year, the marriage is scattered. Right? The whole essence of running assessment through people, data-driven assessment, is so that you can check the background, because the assessment will reveal your childhood. It will reveal a lot of things that has happened. So what do we check for in assessment? One, we check for beliefs and culture compatibility. There is an entire test, 20 questions, that checks if your culture is compatible, if your beliefs are compatible. When beliefs are incompatible, you guys are going to get into marital crisis. Number two, you are checking for patterns and personality alignment, which I just talked about. You are checking for energy and vibration to know if these people connect. Two people are dating. They say, we don't feel tempted by each other at all. That's a red flag for bedroom. If you are dating someone you are really, really into, and you are not sexually tempted or you are not sexually attracted to them, you will know. That's already ready. Say there's no temptation at all. By the time they get into marriage, you realize that they don't desire themselves at all, right? So you check for energy and vibration, you check for areas of pain and heal from those pains. Many people have been through pain and they are bringing the pain into marriage. Guys, if you know someone who should be in this meeting, please go right now, share the link with them and tell them to join, okay? Because it's getting hot in here. So number four, you are checking for areas of pain and heal. There are so many people who are in pain from childhood, pain from their teenage years, pain from their single years, pain from broken relationships that they have not healed from, right? And so the psychometric can pick that. So you are checking for patterns. Number three, unequal yoke is being married to someone who doesn't believe your beliefs, right? So what we think about when we talk about unequal yoke, especially Christian, they think Christian and Muslim should not get married. Let me announce to you, right? If you don't feel you can do it, then it's okay. But as a professional, I have seen Muslims get married to Christian and it works, because human beings get married, not religion. Now you ask me, so what God would they be calling on? Right? The Muslim guy decides to practice his Muslim and allow the Muslim girl, Christian girl, to practice her Christianity. Then the question comes, what will the children practice? The two of them agree that, you know what, whichever one they want to practice. And they've been married for like 15 years and they are okay. Professionally, I know that this works and I have created templates that make, because at the end of the day, it's peace that people want. Now, I am not, if your religious belief contradicts what I've just said, please hold on to your religious belief. I am not licensing you to now go and marry somebody that you know you don't share faith with or something. But you see, I realize that religion is what we have been given. But if you see two people genuinely love themselves, and I've seen it, two people genuinely love themselves, that the only reason they separated is because of religion. Now they've gone to marry someone else they don't love, but they are still talking to themselves and cheating on them, and now still coming together to do stuff simply because they really, really want to be together. So unequal yoke is being married to someone who doesn't believe what you believe. What do you think will happen when the Spanish Romeo marries a German Juliet? The first problem will be language barrier. He will speak Spanish, she will speak German, and they're going to have issues. So there are 10 core areas in culture compatibility test that you check. Who is superior? Does the man believe in superiority or they believe in equality? If they don't believe, if one person believes I'm superior to the other person, that's already a problem. That's an unbeliever. It doesn't mean unbeliever is bad. It just means that there are other people who believe what he believes. He should go and look for them. A woman is superior, a husband is superior to his wife. What do they believe in there? Is the duty of the woman to cook? What do they believe? If the woman says, I don't believe it's my duty to cook, and the man says it's your duty to cook, they are unbelievers to themselves. That's unequal yoke. Now, as simple as these 10 questions are, it's been the reason for many crises in a lot of families. So you want to check, right? Are they believers to themselves? Believer means I believe what you believe. I believe what you believe in money. I believe what you believe about sex. I believe what you believe about equality or inequality. I believe what you believe about how families can come in. I believe what you believe about exposure and how, we should live together. What do you believe about each other, right? Those beliefs has to be put to forth, because once there is no alignment, there is bound to be crisis. So if you look at it this way, This is the cycle of abuse. When we treat abuse globally, especially when I'm consulting for Lagos State, one of the things we found out is when you look at the cycle of abuse, you have the victim who was being abused. And in here, you are asking the question, how did this victim get into this relationship where somebody is beating you and you are staying there, right? What has prepared this victim to stay and endure hardship till she dies in the relationship? Then you check the perpetrator. How and why was the perpetrator made? What pain and his life that has turned him to become a perpetrator? Then you check the production factory. What factory produced the victim and the perpetrator? Because there are some families that are producing the victim. Other families are producing the perpetrator. If you have raised a wholesome girl child, for example, and you have raised her to be independent, she's not likely going to stay in an abusive relationship if you share a good bond, because she will communicate to you. And if you have not told her that, as you have gone to your husband's house, you must no longer come back here, she knows when she's threatened, she can easily run back home, right? So what is the system that is producing these two people? This is what family system engineering covers. Then society. You have the reinforcing society, the educating society, and the prosecuting society. What is their role? But guess what? In all we do, this is the gap. Skilled intervening support system. And that is what Africa lacks. So these people are in crisis. Who do they go to? They sometimes come here. And if they go to a pastor and imam, and the imam believes in gender inequality, he will tell the wife, maybe you to cook for him, have good sex with him. When you give him good food and good sex, he will no longer beat you. Oh yeah, kneel down. Tell your husband I am sorry. So she kneels down, tells her husband I'm sorry. But a beater will still beat regardless of what you do. Now, it's because these people are not skilled. And that's what Lagos State government is trying to do right now, to now say, you know what? Let us ensure that before we get married, they go through professional counseling. And that was why they got us to design the curriculum they're now going to be using, right? Skilled intervening support system is a global problem. And it's one of the skills that will be required in the future. Because if you look at the generation Z and Alpha, they are even worse when it comes to love. They just breeze it and breeze out. So it means we will need more family life practitioners in the days to come to help people professionally. And people are willing to pay anything to make their family work. And this is why you need to get certified to master the procedure and be able to help people, right? And that's why we call for people to come and get certified. And that's why you are in this club. Now, if I go ahead until there's beliefs alignment and congruence, there must be no deal. Number 4, when the marital governing system is not mutually defined, one person will die for the other person to leave. If you go through family system engineering certification program, one of the things we teach is that when there is no uniform picture of a desirable future, marriage will terribly suffer. So in here, we ensure that couples create a mutual marital vision that incorporates the collective desires of both of them. So you are going to learn in class how you can help people create family vision. I mean, sometimes I'm creating family vision for a couple. Those days when I used to work in Nigeria, I'll charge 250,000 for some of my high network friends, and they're willing to pay because it's a lot of work. But not having that vision can mess up their marriage. Number 2, we get them to agree on marital values. Then we design the DNA creed of their family. You create the legends of their family. Create and pick relevant activities that can create their family culture. Then they develop a system that promotes the best interest of both of them and document. Now, this entire process, if you are going to coach couples on this, takes you about minimum, if they are fast learners, it will take you about 11 weeks. But usually, I recommend 11 months. So this is why some of our practitioners, they tell you, couples pay them. Because if a couple has a budget for 5 million for a wedding, why can't they spend $1 million to prepare for the marriage? So right now, there are lots of people willing to spend to prepare for the marriage. And let me tell you one secret. People are willing to pay anything. They only want ease of payment, right? So if you say your fee is 2 million, they don't mind paying. They only want you to allow them pay small, maybe across 2 years or something like that. Now, if you live where I live, you just slot in your card and the card deducts you monthly. So if the couples don't understand this I just shared, and we don't have more people who can teach them, marriages will be collapsing like a pack of cards. Because every family needs a family vision. They need family values. They need a DNA creed for their family. They need the legends of their family. They now need to create activities that can drive and deliver their family vision. Then they need to develop systems that promote the best interest of both of them. And it must be documented before marriage. Now, so when people have marital crisis, it's the same process. This lack of this is why they have crisis. And if they can sit in counseling and you can take them through this coaching, trust me, you will fix their marriage for them. Number 5, thing nobody will ever tell you, that the key to mastering yourself and your spouse is to master their user's manual. This is one of the sessions I love the most in the class, because here you are going to learn how to create a user's manual. As a matter of fact, when you create your user's manual as a lady or as a guy, already you know who you should never marry. You know who you should marry. Now, if you create it as a married person and study it, you are not likely going to have any crisis again with your spouse, because you will know their strength, you know their weaknesses, you know how they get angry, you know how they recover from anger, you know the deal breakers, you know their fantasies. In fact, when we take couples to do this, couples now discover fantasies that nobody ever told them, that they didn't even know about their spouse. A user's manual is a document that clearly articulates everything about the product to enable effective utilization by the user and to prevent unnecessary damage. So it's a document you create for your clients that shows their authentic self, how best they should be handled by the for maximum benefit by the user. It is the authentic narrative about you, not holding anything back. Now, many people lie about themselves because they want to impress people. If you're an alpha female, your user's manual will say, I'm an alpha female, so that you know that not every man can handle you. So when people don't have a user's manual, a lot of things is left to chance. So in your user's manual, we say that you find what is your authentic self, what is your brand promise, what are your functions and qualities, what are your safety precautions, what are your fantasies and deal breakers, what gets you upset and how best do you recover, what are your blind spots and personal gaps, and what are you mostly misunderstood, your most misunderstood attitude. These are things that a user's manual contains. And if everybody, in fact, you can do user's manual for a child, that when the child goes to school, you can show the teacher, this is who my child is, this is how to treat my child, so that they don't just mess your child up. So the greatest impediment to finding your soulmate is the fact that we have not been conditioned to love what we hate, apologize for what we have, and embrace what we detest. The user's manual is the key that helps you become your authentic self, because it is now you designing the life you truly want, right? And so if you begin to help more people create their user's manual, many people will no longer marry wrongly, because they will know, based on what my user's manual says, I cannot marry this person because our energy does not align. Okay, I'm in number 6. If you are enjoying this, can you type I? Let me see if you guys are still here. I'm going to round up in about 5 to 10 minutes. Are you still here? Right. Can you still type I? Let me see. Okay, good. So you guys are enjoying it. Now, number 6, that the greatest threat to your marital peace is the culture of the nation, that is the family that produced you. And once you don't create the right formation, your originating nation will sabotage you. What this means is very simple. 2 people are coming to a marriage. The 2 of them are from 2 different families. These 2 different families are 2 different countries. Every family has got their culture. Now they are coming together. If they don't come together and define the new culture they want to create and queue up behind that culture, they are going to sabotage themselves. That's why we say in family system engineering, couples don't fight. The cultures they have produced them is what is at work, because each person is an ambassador of the culture that produced them. So what we do in family system engineering, we have designed a 5-way family life formation that people play. So you have the bossy-down relationship, where one person is a slave master relationship. You have the tantis, where somebody is using the other person to gain power. Then when they gain power, they now begin to molest the person. You have the galacticals, which is an all-star relationship. Both of you are par in every area. You know, the best actress marries the best singer. And so they've not learned to create the template that makes their marriage work. Then you have the brethren. This is found among religious people, you know, where they wear the same coat, they wear the ankle, you know, but they are totally scattered within. They are mentally divorced, but they are spiritually together because of their ankle. Then we teach you how to build the dream team. Now, what this says is that you need to help people understand what culture, the culture that produced you, has got its good side, has got its bad side. So in here, we say that the family you came out from is critical to the marital health of your marriage. Check your life right now as you're listening to me. Most of the arguments you have had from your spouse, with your spouse, are products of the worldview that it came up with, or you came up with, from the family that produced you. So the way you see things, is totally different because of the way they grew up, the environment they grew up in. Now in marriage, both of you now need to come to the table and say, what type of family do we want to raise? Once you create that, you now create a new culture that is powered by new beliefs that can deliver that outcome. Now, so you're asking, what nation did you come out from? Can you describe the lifestyle from the family you came out from? What is the perception of men and women from that family? Who should submit between man and woman in the nation you are coming from? Who is superior between husband and wife in that nation? What non-nation looks exactly like the originating nation you're coming from? So when we ask this question, sometimes you see the man says, oh, my family looks like Haiti, or like Ghana, or like Mali. The lady says, the family I came out from looks like Germany. You know the problem there? The lady is from a first world country. The guy is from Haiti, a deprived country. So consistently, he's going to be longing for that lady to meet the emptiness in him. And instead of submitting to a mentorship so that she can mentor him into excellence, he's going to try to pull her down to begin to succumb to the mediocrity of the nation that produced him. And that is going to be a problematic for her, and friction is going to start. So when you do this, couples are able to see, oh, my wife is from a better family that has taught her how to love, how to treat people. I'm from a family that is toxic. So what do I need to do? Let me learn how things work from my wife so that when the children come, I would have perfected it. So this session actually helps your clients know that where you are coming from has put you in a place where you are deprived and you need help. So there are things you need to unlearn and relearn. So here, couples are now able to adopt an existing nation. They can say, we want our family to be like Japan. So they study Japan. What makes Japan tick? What is their vision? What are their values? What are their worldview? You now help them install this. Right. Number 7, that the most of what you have been taught about marriage is not totally correct and not relevant to you. And this is so critical, that most of the things we've been taught is not correct or is an old truth that is no longer relevant. And that's why we say nothing is more damaging to a new truth than an old error. So people still teach, and I laugh when I say men are logical, women are emotional. It's not true. Every human being is logical. Every human being is emotional. The one you have utilized the most is the one that becomes more pronounced. Women are homemakers. It's not true. Couples are homemakers. There is no woman that can make a home that a man has vowed to destroy. Any man that can provide for his house is worse than an infidel. That's not Bible. What Bible says is, if anyone or if any, and it's not about marriage, it's talking about care for widows. There is the way into a man's heart is through his belly. That's a glutton. If you have a man who knows how to cook, you can't get into his heart through his belly. A woman that can't cook can't keep a man. That's old school. The Generation Z and Alpha, there is no woman that will be cooking in that future because it will be 24-hour economy and everyone is going to be busy. So you better learn how everyone should cook, or you hire a chef that can solve that problem. Now, if your vibe determines your tribe, then you must know that finding your tribe is your responsibility. And if you don't know where they are from, form one where you are. That's one of the greatest crises is good people don't find themselves. And that's why if you are here, you're working with singles, part of your job is not just to coach them. You must bring good singles to meet good singles so that they can begin to mingle. Because the good ones almost find the bad ones and things like that. And before you know it, they deceive themselves in a relationship and begin to get into Christ. Now, at this juncture, let me tell you a little bit that Institute of Family Engineering and Development is the premier family life certification institute in Nigeria. We are committed to promoting the dignity of persons through professional family life practice. We produce the ideal family life practitioners that humanity deserves. We are accredited with the Ministry of Education, Lagos State, and we now have visible presence in the UK, US, and Canada. And one of the things about our programs is you can use them to practice anywhere you find yourself. As a matter of fact, they've now said that our model is the only model that combines coaching with therapy, systems intelligence. You will hardly find that because you either find therapy separately, coaching separately, counseling separately, systems intelligence hardly taught. But the model you're going to learn combines all of those things. Our vision is to produce competent family life practitioners for our world. And you can see our values in there. Now, one of the things I would say to you is that our approach is practicable, is systems driven, you can replicate it, is data driven, and is very, very profitable. Now, one of the things we did, and like I mentioned, we studied 25 African couples across various cultures who have done actually 40 to 60 years in their marriages, and the course was built on the model that made their marriage work. And we have tested it over the last 6 years, and it has passed every test across different cultures. You can see some of our alumni, people have gone through our programs who have graduated from these courses, from Bridget to Pastor Godman to Pastor Amos Fenwa, Pastor Edwin, Dimman Wobi, Nika Ogunlesi, Modupe Enyiri. You know, these are some of the people who have been through our courses. We have trained over 1,200 people, and we have over 200 certified practitioners. We just did level 2, which is master practitioners level, you know, and it's always mind-blowing. It's an experience that will change your life. I'm going to invite you to class. If you want to become a savior, to join our tribe today. Now, I'll tell you this. We always say that this is the difference that made all the difference. So you can visit our website. You can click on the link. If you are here, you want to be a savior, you want to transform people, you have listened to some of this I'm sharing, you can click on the link. Because I'll tell you this, if you are in class today, this course costs about $400,000. That's what it costs this year, right? We are getting into some partnerships across the globe right now, which might increase the cost. But today, if you are in this class, the cost will go for $350,000 for you. And you can activate, if you are qualified for that, you can activate with $50,000. They will drop a link. You can click on that link and activate with $50,000 within the next 48 hours. This offer is for 48 hours. Once you pay your $50,000, it means you have activated the $350,000 offer. Trust me, we can support you. If you have a challenge, maybe you want to spread your $400,000. If you want to pay $400,000, let us know, right? We are here to support you, because the more family life professionals we have, the better for our world. But let me say this to you. You see, you need to join our tribe, because family cell engineering is actually an intentionally developed template that takes a look into how the structure, frames, and system of family affect the product of the family, and how their deployment into the society affects the quality of society, especially the continent of Africa. If we must change Nigeria, then we need to change Nigeria from the families. We need to begin to produce new generation of leaders from our family using a different family system and a different family template. So when you come to class, you are going to learn how systems work, how family works, and the engineering of the human mind. So you can click on that link to activate the 50,000, to activate your 350,000 offer, and pay 50K within the next 2 days if you want to come to class. Now, when you come to class, you will learn what we call Oyela. Oyela is a psychometric that when you run it, it's 94% accurate. You will know 94% what is going on in the life of the couple without them saying anything. You are almost like a magician. When I do Oyela in America, they're like, "Chris, who told us about you? Are you a prophet?" and things like that. I said, no, data does not lie, right? So you're able to learn how to analyze, how to create reports, and how to review sessions and create intervention. In the Oyela psychometric, you have the marital assessment, you have the beliefs assessment, you have the love code assessment, and you have the brand of car personality assessment. You're going to learn a personality assessment that you have never seen before. One of the best in the world, where you will learn intimidating, armor, creative, convertible, dependable, truck, and systematic force, right? You will so enjoy it, and you become so powerful. Life becomes very easy. You are no longer a native intelligent person. You are asking couple, what has he done? What has he done? If you do that, you can't even be effective, because by the time you spend 2 hours with a couple, you can't even be effective. You are even likely going to lose your family if care is not taken. So with data-driven approach, you already know what is wrong with them before they come, simply because they filled your assessment. And you can charge, you charge for the assessment, then you charge to coach them. At that level, I know people who I have mentored, who started, they were not earning anything, they were just doing it for passion. I know some of them do in the excess of 10 million per annum right now, and they are not even working full-time, right? And I know this work. I have mentored lots of people. I have seen some of our practitioners. I've seen what they're earning. I've seen how well they're doing. And I've seen many of them, whether you're a medical doctor, whether you're a pastor, whether you're an HR practitioner. You know, if you're an HR practitioner, you even need this because there are people who are having issues in your organization. And with this, you can easily psychoanalyze and know what is wrong. I'm on retainership for an organization that everybody they have to hire. They will ask me, Praise, can you run your brand of car model on us so that we know what to expect? And I run it and they pay me. Everybody they hire in the last 2 years, they're about to go through me. So there are so many areas you can apply this course. You will learn the brand of car model, how extroverted people are, how introverted they are, the systems people, the projects people, you know. So in the family system engineering model, you are learning comprehensive assessment to accurately diagnose the real issues in the marriages. You're going to do a review session to clarify any challenge with their professional report. Then you are going to do family system engineering result coaching sessions, which you're going to learn how to coach people, how to help them produce results, how they can pay you, how you can position yourself in the market. The model is being used by 120,200 family system engineering practitioners across Africa, UK, US, and Canada among the Black community. And some of them have done 56 hours of class work, 100 hours field work. The good news is this project is now virtual. So you don't need to leave the comfort of your room. Classes hold every Friday, you know, across 12 weeks. And you have people you're working with, you have a community you belong to who support you, who mentor you. We are the only certification program that provide post-class mentoring session and support. Once you pay your fee and you are done with some other people, they leave you to your own. We handhold you till you become successful, right? So this is the result coaching, 11 players that everybody needs to understand if their marriage is going to work, right? Then you're going to learn how to role switch, how to find out where people find the highest form of vibration and the highest form of sustenance in their relationship. Finally, guys, the ancestors of Africa before now are the Shango, the Amadioa, the Ogun, and you know they are unapproachable. You can't approach Shango and say, I'm going to hug father. You can't approach Amadioa and say, I'm going to hug him. But now what we're saying is we are raising a new generation of ancestors that promote love and dignity of person. And that's why we need more people to take this certification program. We believe the most important nation on earth is the family. And we believe no man can be truly happy until the woman is happy. Hence, our desire to promote a team-based family system approach across the nations of the world. I have worked with all kinds of people. Now I mentor, because I'm part of Family Life Coaching Association in America, I now mentor quite a number of my colleagues in the industry who have done the certification program, but they don't even know how to position themselves in the market. Guys, we can do this together. So we need you. Classes will resume October 7th to December 23rd. Every Friday is the final cohort for the year. I'm going to take your questions, so don't be in a hurry. I'll take your questions for a few minutes. But see, our world needs you. Africa needs you. Right? And I always tell people, once there's a certification program, don't say it's expensive. Ask yourself, how can I afford it? I'll tell you one thing that is consistent. When you go through this certification program and you become certified, you'll realize that you actually cheated us, because what you will gain will be with you for life. It can't measure. It's not commensurate to what you have paid, right? And we're going to support you. You want to spread your payment, let us know. The goal is we need more people. As a matter of fact, our mandate is 50,000 family life professionals within the next 10 years, right? And that's why we're going all out to ensuring that everyone who is working with families, who is working with people, they can take this certification program. Okay, so I hope I get to see you in class. If you are here, you are going to come to class and join us for the next session. Can you type I, I'm Sister Jedediah, and even if you don't join, I will bundle you to class myself. I'm going to bundle you to class, okay? Everything that you need to do to attend, we're going to make sure that it happens. Where are the other people? I can only see 2 people who are joining me in October. Where are the other people? If you're joining me in October, please type your I. Damilola is joining. Okay, so 3 people already. I will join. Okay, so I'm seeing more people. So just click on the link and we will see you. Click on the link. More people join the class, become more equipped. The good thing about this class is you will first find healing for yourself. That's what happens consistently. You find healing for yourself, then you now begin to learn how to heal other people, right? You will see a whole lot of things that has gone wrong. You will learn the therapy, the psychology of reconditioning yourself and reconditioning the people in your life. You will learn how to psychoanalyze people and how to create intervention. So I hope to see you guys in class. If there is any question for me, please feel free to ask me at this juncture. Okay, good. I'm seeing people who like to join. If you like to join, click on the link, or you can just send an SMS or a WhatsApp message to my admin.
Oh, so that's your stamina bar. So yeah, no, because
so the admin can put in their phone number. Duration on Friday is just 2 hours every Friday, right? Just 2 hours and chat you up on WhatsApp. Admit your numbers in there in case people need to reach you. Okay, but you can click on the link, welcoming you and working with you all through this session. Okay, how much does the psychometric test alone cost? Now, what time on Fridays? It's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Fridays, yeah, when we start. Psychometry, I mean, when I run psychometry in America, because psychometry comes with review sessions, I charge $250, right? I think practitioners in Nigeria, the minimum they charge is about 25,000 naira for that psychometry alone. Okay, so where is my admin, right? You can drop your number. Okay, let me drop my, it's looking like I can't see the admin. 803-726-9483. Okay, so you can actually, okay, so they have dropped their number right now. You can chat them up if you need help, assistance, but let's get as many people as possible. The more people can use it, you are working with women, you are working with men, you are working with all kinds of people. Please go ahead and sign up for this class. I look forward to welcoming you and working with you, and together we'll produce some family practitioners humanity deserves. Okay, in case there are questions for me, I am all here right now to answer your questions. Okay, any question for me, you can drop your question in the chat box. Where's Miracle, my host?
I'm here. I'm very much here, sir.
Okay.
Just taking it all in, soaking it all in. You know, somebody said in the chat box that there's always something you need to learn from PF. You know, even if you teach the same things over and over again, there's just a new dimension or a new school of thoughts, and it's really exciting. Yeah, so please, if you have questions, you can indicate. We would unmute you and allow you to speak, or you can unmute yourself and speak. If you would or write them down, you can type it on the chat box, and PF will take your questions. Please, let's ask questions about the class. Let's ask questions about the things that have been taught. You know, there's something that has been taught here that you would like verification on, maybe on your marriage, on your relationship, singleness, or whatever. I think that it might be a good time to ask. You know, this session is free. You don't have to pay $250 to access PF's knowledge right now. So it's a good opportunity to ask your questions. If I were you, I would grab this opportunity with both of my hands.
Someone is asking how well can this certification help in the UK? We have practitioners, we have a community in the UK actually of people who have taken family STEM engineering certification program. And presently it's undergoing a review by the UK government for them to include it in the continuous CPA or some CPE, right? It's undergoing a review right now. You know, so, but if you're certified, you can actually start work in the UK, because once you're a family life coach, you can work in any country of the world. Yeah, so yeah, and we have quite, I mean, we'll just link you with the family life practitioners in the UK, and they will put you through. Yeah, so you can use it anywhere.
All right, thank you very much, sir. It's very, very, very relevant anywhere you find yourself. Like I said earlier, even if you find yourself in Planet Mars or Venus, as long as there are people there, it is relevant for them. You know, beyond, I know that a lot of people, a lot of times when we talk about certifications for the world, it is career driven. So a lot of people want to ask, okay, how is it going to help me, make career progress? Yes, why that is important and relevant. What you should also focus on is how it can help improve yourself and people around you. Something that you can use to actually practically help people and their relationships, right? And that's what this is about. Okay, so click on the link right there if you want to access this. 50K only for starters. I think that's really a good one. So just click on the link and let's get started with this, right? Yeah. Okay. While we're doing that, I think that might be one or two persons who want to share their FSC experience. We made arrangement for that. I don't know if Dr. Dami is ready to speak. If you are, you have the floor to just share with us in the next 2 minutes how your FSC experience has been. Post FSC, has this been relevant to you and to your work with relationships with families and with other people? Dr. Dami, are you there?
Dr. Dami Adeniyi, I can see him.
Yes, I can as well.
Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
You can unmute yourself and share, sir.
Okay, great. I was trying to unmute myself earlier, but I couldn't unmute. Thank you very much for this opportunity. PF, thanks. It's always refreshing listening to you, and thanks for this opportunity. I remember hearing you say there are about 1 to 100,000 family life professionals in the world, and I was thinking, okay, you'd like me to start my video? Okay, let me 1 second, 1 minute. Let me just. All right, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So my background is that I trained as a doctor and a public health professional, and in the medical field, we have about 4 to 10,000. For every 4 doctors, you have 10,000 people in Nigeria as of 2018. And that, when you compare that to 1 to 100,000, it just tells you that there is a need for more family life professionals than we even have for doctors. And that's bearing in mind that we don't even have enough doctors. The best decision I made in 2021, January, was actually signing up for the Family Systems Engineering Certification course, the basic course. It impacted my life greatly. Now, I had the privilege of, being a part of traditional, faith-based counseling in the past. And what I realized is that by virtue of, going through the course, probably just speak about a few things here and there. The course itself, learning on the PF, Coach Dimma, and also the mentorship. I realized that my practice actually improved dramatically. I can point to so many things, but I'll just, just focus on the Oyela psychometric test, which is a 4-part test that combines personality analysis, love language tests, belief/cultural compatibility, and then premarital or marital assessment. And, I remember hearing those things that, it was 94% accurate. And, for me, then it was theory. But in the course of, working with clients, I've actually seen that it's actually very true, because I always look forward to getting the assessments of, clients when we have our debrief session based on the reports. And I've seen actually that's actually accurate. I've worked with about 32 clients in the last almost 2 years, private clients and all paying clients. And I'm saying this so that you realize that, it works. Prior to that time, even though my entire practice has been less than 2 years, I'm glad that I had that foundation, early enough. I also have had the privilege of having exposure, to people outside of Nigeria. I think about 5 different countries out of Nigeria from referrals, and this is not from sponsor posts, just by referrals. I still do my regular day job, all right, as a program manager, as a public health professional, and so I get to see clients in the evenings, and then weekends are usually pretty busy. I've worked with clients in the US, in Canada, UK, Rwanda, and Ghana. I've not been to all these countries before. I've only been to maybe 2 countries in my life, but by virtue of working with clients and applying the things that I've learned, from the Family Systems Engineering Certification, it's greatly improved my practice. Some of my favorite tools: Oyela Psychometric, the user's manual, the tree of life. There's so many things. And compared to, when you compare what my practice was like before I joined, I was certified with farm systems engineering. I actually have seen, it's almost like night and day, dramatic improvements. Let me say something about finances. I know for some people, that here, especially those of you that said you'll be joining in October, I truly hope that you follow through and join. It is the best by far financial decision I made. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. We lost you at some point, but yeah.
I apologize for the interruption. So I said, let me talk about finances. I remember when I signed up in January. At the time I decided to sign up, I didn't have, then it was at just 250,000. At the time, I probably had only 100,000, and I was determined to, sign up. The flexible payment allowed me to pay over, I think, 3 payments. So after the initial payments, I was able to pay 2 other payments. And I can tell you that I have made more than 10 times that amount minimum, and I'm not exaggerating, in less than 2 years. If you do the calculation, I've worked with 32 clients that are paying clients, private clients. I'm not talking about a webinar. I'm saying one-on-one sessions, all right, within a span of 2 years. And if you do your calculations, of course, initially, you may not have paying clients like that, but it is by far the best investment I have made. And I mean that by far. So please don't allow finances deter you. PF was very right when he said the value that you get from this is almost like, we are robbing them. And I think I'm guilty of that because it's been very, very rewarding. Let me end by saying this. The future belongs to family life professionals. I remember we're given an assignment when PF asked us to think about the world in 2015 and the impact it will have on families and some of the problems that will be associated, with families. And just by doing that assignment and speaking from this moment, I realized that there will be a need for family life professionals. So whether you want to get in full-time or whether you want to do it part-time, you will be in demand, and it's definitely the right way to go. So I look forward to hearing that you signed up or also seeing you at the Family Systems Engineering course. Thanks, PF. God bless you so much. Thanks to everyone, mentors, for the investment. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Bami Adeniyi, for sharing. Thank you very much. Of course, you've heard it all, right? You've heard it all. You really don't have a choice but to be in this training. It's relevant for you in every way. Anyhow you want to get to think about it, whether it's financially, whether it's more impact, whether it is career progression, whatever it is, it makes sense. And of course, there are people who may not want to be family life practitioners, and who have attended because they wanted to help themselves and help their marriages and families, and they have no regret at all for doing that. They have for doing that. So you want advantage of this. I can see somebody asking in the chat box, okay, saying that if this training can be done for his church, for her church rather. Yes, and I think PF written that already. So PF said we have certified some churches. So yes, we can certify your people. Yeah. So we have worked with few churches and certified them, and we can do that for churches as well. Okay. So is there anybody who wants to ask a question? Who wants to ask verbally? Yeah, vocally. You want to ask a question, and you indicate, and then we can unmute you, and you can ask your question. We will be out of here in another maybe 10 minutes max. Be out of your face. So if there's anybody who wants to ask a question, please indicate, and we would allow you to ask a question, or better still, you can type it in the chat box. Okay. Is there installment payment? How many installments? I know the answer to that, but maybe PF should answer.
I think she can chat up the admin and the numbers. They will talk to her and they can agree on how the installment works. Yeah, so you can just chat up any of the numbers that has been displayed and talk to them.
All right, so please go ahead, chat up the number displayed on your screen, and provisions will be made for installments and for your question, please. Okay. Yeah, admin is also saying that there are easy payment options available to you. So there are different payment options and payment that has been created, or that have been created rather, for you, to be a part of this. So please chat with admin, access all of those provisions already made for you to actually be a part of this class. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Oluwadamilola. Thank you very much. Do you have any more questions? Do you have any more questions? Do you have any more questions? And hope we've gotten value, beyond, asking you to be a part of this, sign up for the next class. Hope you got value. Hope you learned something from this class. If there's somebody who learned something, who wants to share in 1 minute, something that you are taking home, something like it as a take home for you, something that, stood out all through the time we have shared, you might want to share with us as well. Maybe in another 1 or 2 minutes, there's something that stood out for you, an aha moment, or whatever it is, throughout, the session. You also want to share with us. Let's get that feedback as well. Let's also know that, okay, this was something valuable for you and for your life and for your relationship, and what have you. So please, there's somebody who wants to share. I want you to please go ahead and mute yourself and tell us something that's a take home for you in all of the things I've talked about today. Yeah. So beyond signing up for the class, I want to make sure that we got value from today's session. So I'll let you feedback on that. Who wants to go first? Just unmute yourself and then share with us in another 1 or 2 minutes something that stood out for you in today's class. I thought somebody was unmuting already. These people should not fall my hand. Let's go. Let's get 1 person or 2 persons, and then we can begin to wind down. Okay. Nobody's sharing. All right. I want to believe that, but if you got some sort of value, let's just say something in the comment section. You got value from today's session, even though you don't want to share. Just say something in the comment section, something maybe like value or thank you very much, PF, or whatever, just to make sure that you got value from this session. All right. Thank you, Adebimpe. But that, sorry if I murdered your name. But thank you very much for that comment. Yeah, PF always delivers. I learned a lot from this session. Thank you, Grace. Thank you very much. Yeah, somebody said I got some answers. Yeah, Temilola, thank you very much for that feedback. Thank you very much for that feedback. Thank you. Okay, now I'm excited that, okay, yeah, we got value from this. All right. I'm truly inspired and wish to go. For further training. My budget is tight right now. I believe that's what you want to say. But chat us up. Let's get you fixed on that. If your budget is tight, let's see how we can help you, like Eva was rightly said earlier. So chat up the number that's displayed on the chat or in the chat box, and we can see how we can help you with that. Okay, somebody else said, thank you so much, PF and entire team. I learned a lot. God bless. My notes are full. Wow. Now imagine the kind of value you get when you come for the full class. Awesome. Okay, somebody said really enlightening. Thank you, PF. Another person said I got value today as always. Thank you, PF. Thank you, IFED team. Divinely favored. Thank you. Somebody said, thank you, PF and the entire team. God bless you. God bless you too, sir. Somebody said, an enlightening session. Thanks and stay blessed. Somebody said, I'm really glad I joined today. Thank you. I'm also glad you joined. I don't know if there are final words from PF, but this is me signing out. I want to thank everyone for showing up and for being a part of this class. I hope to see us in class in October. I want the class full. There are no restrictions. Let's get a class full and let's take our world by storm. Let's help more families. Let's help more individuals. Okay, your word is counting on you. All right. I think that brings us to the end of the session. PF, do you have any other things you want to say, sir?
No. Over, just end the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for coming in.
All right, we're good. So thank you, everyone. See you on the other side. Get up the number if you have any concerns. And let's see how much we can partner to have a great time together. Have a wonderful time, everybody. Have a blessed week, and God bless you.